Welcome back to Listen to English. A reminder before we start. This episode is designed for C1 advanced learners. We will be dealing with complex psychological concepts and fast, nuanced speech. If you need practice at a different pace, please check our playlists for A2 or B1 level content. Today, Kevin Kim is back to discuss a painful truth about the modern workplace, why the experts are terrified, and the idiots are running the show. Enjoy the episode.
Hey everyone, Kevin here. It's Sunday night. The Sunday scaries are hitting hard. And like every Sunday night since I graduated college, I am fully convinced that tomorrow is the day it all ends. Tomorrow's the day the corporate veil finally drops. My boss is gonna walk over to my desk, followed by HR and 2 large security guards, and say, "Kevin, the jig is up. We checked the logs. We know you've just been Googling how to do my job for 5 years. Get out." This is the daily, grinding reality of living with imposter syndrome. On paper, I look like a functional adult professional. I have a good job title, a 401k, and a LinkedIn profile picture where I look ridiculously optimistic about the future of B2B software solutions. But internally, I feel like 3 raccoons stacked in a trench coat pretending to be a businessman. Every day is just me trying not to let the raccoons escape. Every time I succeed at a project, my brain doesn't say, "Good job, Kevin, your hard work and skill paid off." No. My brain says, "Wow, you are an incredible con artist. You tricked them again. But your luck is running out. The fraud police are on their way." It's this pervasive, unshakable belief that you have somehow stumbled into success through a series of clerical errors, and that any minute now, the universe is going to correct its mistake. And you know what makes this internal screaming infinitely worse? Looking around the open plan office and seeing the other guys. We need to talk about the other side of this psychological coin. If imposter syndrome is smart, competent people feeling dumb, then we must discuss the terrifying phenomenon of objectively dumb people thinking they are geniuses. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It's a cognitive bias where incompetent people are too incompetent to realize they are incompetent. They are trapped in a bubble of blissful, unearned confidence. You know this guy. Every office has one. Let's call him Chad. Chad started at the company 6 months ago. He's 24. His previous experience was running a failed dropshipping business he started in his dorm room. He read 1 summary of a book about cryptocurrency and watched 3 TED Talks about disruptive mindset. And now, Chad acts like he personally invented the internet. Chad has 0 self-doubt. He sleeps like a baby at night because his brain is too smooth to process anxiety. He leans back in meetings, taking up 2 chairs, interrupting the senior engineers to explain engineering to them based on a TikTok he saw. He uses so many buzzwords that his sentences become abstract art. Kevin, we need to leverage the synergistic paradigm to gamify our core competencies. I just stare at him. Chad, what are you saying? Are you having a stroke? Do we need to call paramedics? While I'm agonizing over an email for 45 minutes, rereading it 50 times to ensure the tone is perfectly deferential, yet professional, worrying if a semicolon is too aggressive. Chad has already fired off 10 emails from his phone, full of typos, bad ideas, and demands for a raise. And guess what? He's currently updating his LinkedIn headline to "Visionary Disruptor Taco Enthusiast." Now, this wouldn't be so bad if it was just annoying office politics. We could just ignore Chad and his tacos. But this dynamic is tragically shaping our entire economy. Because here is the sad truth I have learned in the corporate trenches. The marketplace clients, customers, even senior management cannot tell the difference between actual competence and loud confidence. They conflate volume with value. Imagine a high-stakes client meeting. They are trying to hire a consultant for a massive project. On one side of the table, you have Dr. Lee. She has a PhD, 20 years of experience in the trenches. Because she is a true expert, she knows exactly how many things can go wrong. She respects the complexity. So when the client asks, "Can you guarantee a 300% ROI in 6 months?" Dr. Lee pauses. She thinks. She says, "Well, that's a highly optimistic projection. It depends on market variables, regulatory changes, and execution." We need to be realistic and manage expectations. The client hears. She's unsure. She's weak. She doesn't believe in herself. Next. On the other side of the table, you have Chad. Chad doesn't know what ROI stands for, but he knows it sounds good. When the client asks the same question, Chad leans across the table, makes intense, unblinking eye contact, and says, "Absolutely, 300% is easy. Honestly, we're aiming for 500%. We are going to crush it. I have a proprietary vibe-based system that changes the game. Let's sign the contract right now. Let's go." Who gets a job? Chad gets the job. Every single time. Why? Because the client is terrified of uncertainty. They don't want the complex, painful truth. They want the comforting, expensive lie. They want a daddy to tell them everything is going to be okay, and Chad is happy to role play. This creates a profound existential crisis for the actual experts. If you actually know what you are doing, you are cursed with the knowledge of how difficult things really are. That knowledge makes you humble. It makes you cautious. And in today's attention economy, humility doesn't sell. Caution doesn't get clicks. It depends doesn't go viral. I look around my industry, and the most famous people are often the ones with the least substance. But my God, are they incredible at personal branding. They have perfect Instagram aesthetics, all beige tones and minimalist desks. They post what I call hustle porn, photos of their laptop at 5 a.m. with captions like, "Rise and grind." While you were sleeping, I was building an empire. Hashtag no days off. Hashtag CEO ready made. No, Braden, you were just buying an overpriced latte and using a filter to hide the fact that you're dead inside like the rest of us. They write ebooks that are just 50 pages of recycled motivational quotes with giant margins. And they are rich. They are keynote speakers at conferences that I have to beg my company to pay for. Meanwhile, the real experts, the Dr. Lees of the world, are too busy actually doing the difficult, unglamorous work to post about it on TikTok 5 times a day. They are stuck in the competence trap. They mistakenly believe that good work speaks for itself. Newsflash, in 2024, the work does not speak for itself. The work is whispering in a very noisy nightclub, while Chad is screaming into a megaphone and shooting confetti out of a t-shirt cannon. So, what is the takeaway here? Is this just a long, depressing rant? Mostly, yes. But there is a lesson. We live in a system designed to reward the loud and superficially charming, and punish the thoughtful and deeply skilled. If you suffer from imposter syndrome, it's probably because you have high standards and self-awareness. Those are good things. Don't lose them. But if you want to survive in this corporate jungle without losing your mind, you have to swallow a very bitter pill. You have to learn something from Chad. You don't have to become an arrogant idiot, please don't, but you do have to learn how to perform confidence. You have to learn to stop apologizing for taking up space. You have to learn to market your skills. even if it makes you feel physically ill. You have to channel just 5% of Chad's unearned audacity. You need to walk into a meeting and act like you belong there, even if your internal monologue is screaming like a possum in a dumpster. Fake it until you make it, or at least fake it until you retire. Because if the smart, capable people are too afraid to step up, the Chads of the world will take over everything. And trust me, you don't want to live in a world run by people whose entire personality is a motivational LinkedIn post. Anyway, I need to go prepare for my performance review tomorrow. I'm going to practice looking confident in the mirror and try to convince myself I'm not 3 raccoons in a suit. Wish me luck.
You did a great job. I think you should reward yourself. A painfully accurate dissection of the modern workplace by Kevin. If you followed the contrast between imposter syndrome and the Dunning-Kruger effect and understood why clients often conflate confidence with competence, then your C1 listening skills are very strong. Which side are you on? Do you feel like a fraud, or do you work with a Chad who thinks they know everything? Share your corporate horror stories in the comments below. If you appreciate this kind of deep dive into professional psychology, please like the video and subscribe to Listen to English. Until next time, try to have the confidence of a mediocre man.